Hi everybody, it's Dr. James, the vet here from CBBC'S The Pets Factor, and welcome to Girl Talk World. I am going to take you on a behind the scenes tour of my life as a vet, so let's go. Okay, so first of all, this in here is where we do all the operations. So we've got the anaesthetic machine, the side that keeps all our patients asleep. This is where we do the surgery. Big bright light there so we can see exactly what we're doing. And then this is the trolley here where we lay out all our kit. Okay, and then in this room, big bright red light. That's because in here, we've got the X-ray machine. And this, we have to be very careful to make sure that everyone's nice and safe when we're using X-ray, which is why I've got the warning light on outside. We take the X-ray there, and then it all comes out on this computer here, which is where we then see the X-ray come through. Pretty cool. Okay, and then lastly, I'm gonna introduce you to one of my patients, which I have to say, he is one of my patients, but I'm also kind of fibbing because he's also my own dog. And as you can see, he's only got one eye, but I had to operate on him when he was a little puppy because unfortunately got attacked by another dog. But he's a very happy boy and he comes to work with me every single day. Hey, you're my little mascot, aren't you? Yeah, you're a good boy. And so now we're gonna answer some of your questions.
Hi, it's Cheryl here from the Pets Factor. Hi, and Amelie, my dog. So we're doing a Q&A, and the first question we had was, what's your favourite animal? And I might be biased, but it's almost definitely dog, because they're lovely and fluffy and cute and loyal, and I love walking, so it's just so great to get out and walk your dog and do some exercise, clear your head and watch them play, and then come home and have cuddles. But I also love cats and rabbits and guinea pigs and pretty much all pets that are small and fluffy.
So one question that we've had in is, how do I feel when I operate on a pet? And it's quite a difficult one to answer that, because you do it's a bit of a mixture of emotions. You feel quite you feel a lot of pressure, you feel as you've really got to concentrate, but actually, to be honest, I love it. I get a bit of an adrenaline rush when I'm operating. So I do love it. I love surgery.
Ooh, what would your dream pet be? Well, as you can see, I think I've got my dream pet here, a snuggly, cuddly Cocker Spaniel. But I would love to have a horse, but I live in London and it's not really ideal to have a horse because I don't have, enough space to go out riding. But one day maybe we can move to the countryside. I get so many questions from people saying how they can be a vet when they grow up. And being a vet is super cool. It really is the best job ever. But it's a lot of science. So you've really got to be interested in science, especially biology and chemistry, because they pretty much explain how things work. So you need to know how things work and how the body works. And then so you can learn how animals' bodies work. So then you know how to fix them when they're sick. So really, to become a vet, you need to love animals, obviously. You need to be loving science. You need to work really hard at school to get excellent grades, because vet school can be quite competitive to get into. So you need to get really good grades, especially in the science A-levels. And the most important thing is to get as much work experience as you can, as early as you can, and varied work experience. So that means learn about pets, how to look after them, dogs, dog kennels, catteries, city farms or farms if you're living in the countryside. Learn about horses by going to stables, and as you get any opportunity you can, really, to learn about working with animals and how to make them better. So dog groomers, absolutely as much work experience as you can to make sure it's the job for you, because it's an amazing career, but it is a difficult career. We have to work long hours and it can be emotionally tough, because not always are we cuddling puppies and kittens, although that's the best part of it. So work hard and get your experience.
Have I got any funny stories to tell about animals that I've treated? Well, to be honest, wherever there are animals, there are so many funny stories. So yeah, there are loads. I mean, this series of The Pets Factor, we filmed with a tortoise, and some of you may have seen it, but halfway through me doing the consultation, he decided to have a massive wee all over me, all over the table, everywhere, and we had to cut filming to clear up all the tortoise wee. So that's just one of a whole load of funny stories.
That's an amazing question. What is your favourite surgery to perform? So it's a tricky one because I love surgery and I love making animals better, and I've got a certificate in small animal surgery, so that means that I specialise in surgery. I particularly like orthopaedic surgery, so that means fixing bones and putting back together broken bones. But I have to say my favourite operation of all would have to be removing what we call a foreign body. So that means a foreign object, something that an animal's eaten that they shouldn't have done, from their stomach or intestines. And usually what happens is a pet is vomiting. So it's most likely to be a dog that's vomiting, and we suspect they've eaten something that they shouldn't do. And we take x-rays, and usually x-rays can't show us exactly what the object is. So when we perform surgery, it's always a little guess to try and, see what the object is. And then we get it out, and it might be a ball or a toy or a rag or, I don't know, a nappy, something like that, a slipper. I've removed corn on the cobs and all sorts from animals' intestines. And then what's the best? When you stitch them all up, nearly always they're completely better immediately. I think the coolest thing I've ever removed from a dog's stomach was a naughty, small little Cavalier King Charles Spaniel, and she ate 3 whole rib bones and a chicken drumstick bone, and they were all whole in her stomach, so that was pretty impressive, especially seeing as she was a little dog. The hardest operation I think I've ever done was the time that I removed a tumour from a goldfish. So we had to operate on the little tiny goldfish with anaesthetic gas underwater. And I'd never done that before, and I'd never operated on a goldfish before, and he was 16 years old, so it was a lot of pressure. The operation went well, but unfortunately the goldfish died not long after the surgery. I don't know if that was due to age or the anaesthetic or the operation itself, but that was definitely one of the hardest things I've done. The most difficult animal to treat, that's a difficult one. I think the most difficult animal to treat is an animal that doesn't want to be treated. So obviously dogs and cats are what I treat the most, and they don't always understand why they're coming to the vets. They just know that they've got something wrong with them. They might have a sore paw or a sore eye or a sore foot, and then there we are prodding and poking them to try and figure out what the problem is. So most pets luckily are really understanding and patient with us, but if a dog or a cat or a rabbit or a guinea pig does not want you to look at something, then that is a really difficult patient to treat. So luckily we have the best nurses ever, and we also have some medicine, so sometimes we have to sedate animals in order to really get a good look at what the problem was. I think that the small dogs can be surprisingly difficult. So a naughty chihuahua who doesn't want you to look at them is almost impossible to hold, and they can definitely have a little bit of a bite if they don't want you to look at something. So yeah. Okay, so a long story now. My most embarrassing animal moment was, I think, a while ago when I worked in Australia, and it was an evening and it was the last patient of the day, and after treating this little doggy, I then was going to be doing a tour of the practice and to show people around and do a talk at puppy party in the evening. So I had a little look at the doggy, and I remember it was a Westie, and the owner said that she just wasn't right and we couldn't figure out what was wrong with her. And I put her up on the table and I pressed on her tummy and did my examination, and as I went to take her temperature, I was standing in the wrong way, and suddenly she had an explosive toilet accident. So she had explosive diarrhea, and it went all over me, all down my top, all over me. I remember it like it was yesterday, and I obviously got cleaned up, but for the rest of the evening doing the puppy party talk and the tour of the practice, I must have stunk, and I think all those puppies owners must have been thinking, what's happened to Cheryl? So yeah, sometimes I guess these things happen. You makes a good story.
And the last question is, what's the biggest animal I've ever treated? And to be honest, that's quite an easy one. So I used to be a horse vet before I just worked with the dogs and cats. And one of the calls that I once got was to a zoo to treat a 2-day-old baby elephant. And I think that's still probably not only the coolest, but the biggest pet that I've ever treated. Okay, thank you for everyone's questions. That's me and Oliver signing off. Hope you've enjoyed it, and we'll see you again soon. Bye.
That's all from me then. Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe. Bye.